I think some people would firstly ask, why would I be interested in trying to develop speed and power? But in actual fact, there's very few recreational pursuits that many of us are involved in that don't actually contain some element of speed and power. For example, think about swinging a golf club. The act of swinging a golf club certainly requires an element of speed, and we want some power in that swing so the ball will travel further. And that's just golf. So if we translate that across to the spectrum of other sports such as cycling, where we might need to accelerate to get past the pack or to accelerate past another cyclist, these are great examples of where we actually need to be fast and we need to be powerful. The emphasis on speed and power is very well developed in kickboxing and boxing. There's really the hallmark of boxing and kickboxing is power. Well, for speed, classic example is a 100-metre sprinter. Now, in the training for a 100-metre sprinter, they spend a lot of time simply running that 100 metres or running variants of the 100 metres, but they do so very quickly. Now, in boxing and kickboxing, you'll spend a fair bit of time trying to hit targets, often quickly, because those targets are moving, particularly if you move on to more advanced drills such as light contact sparring. So boxing and kickboxing is very well placed to improve speed simply because you're constantly hitting a moving target. But what's great about these activities is they're so engaging. So rather than just running down a track and staring at a line, you get to try and hit a moving target, which also brings in that element of engagement and skill acquisition. And I think a great example to understand the benefits for our body physically, our body shape, is to compare and contrast the body of a sprinter and the body of an endurance athlete. One of these athletes has quite muscular or has great muscular development, another doesn't. So what most people don't realise is contracting the muscles vigorously and quickly is like doing weight training. That by doing that you activate parts of the muscles or components of the muscles known as fast twitch muscle fibres. Now these are the parts of the muscle, the components of the muscle that tend to induce muscle growth. So any vigorous muscular contraction will induce or favour the recruitment of these fast twitch muscle fibres, and that over time can lead to the increase in muscle tone, muscle strength, even muscle growth. And that's because any act of hitting an object, whether it's a focus mitt, whether it's a heavy bag, whether it's a shield, we have so many different striking implements in boxing and kickboxing, requires you to do two things: contract your muscles and contract them quickly. And this is really the basis of any type of power training. We want vigorous muscular contractions done as quickly as possible. And that in time, repeated repetitively over periods of time, will lead to an improvement in strength and power. Certainly important for recreational sports like golf, where you're required to swing a golf club rapidly, and that involves rapid rotation of the trunk. And it's one of the key motor skills you learn from doing kickboxing and boxing. If you're a cyclist, one of the most important things in cycling is having that fast leg speed so you can break away from the pack and accelerate. And if you regularly undertake boxing or kickboxing training, one thing you're going to develop is very good foot speed. Very important for cycling. Soccer players. Foundation of soccer is kicking. No better way to improve your kicking than coming and doing some kickboxing and learning how to use your body properly and kicking a pad. Now these are all what we call transferable motor skills, that they are actually the same movement patterns. However, the benefit is that if you cross-train, that is, you give your body a break from one activity and train on another, but still maintain those critical biomotor skills, you're likely to see a transfer or a transfer effect. So this is one of the major benefits for the recreational athlete, as we call them, the weekend warrior. Not to mention, boxing and kickboxing is predominantly the method of choice for cross-training and elite athletes. So it's clear that boxing and kickboxing is a suitable cross-training activity for those recreational athletes.